Good evening, as always, to those who have night right now. I wish you a good one. Today our meeting will be extraordinary. You will witness an event unlike anything in the history of the universe. Before we start our meeting, I posted a copy of a photo where the Pope's speech is indicated, in which he already acknowledged that Lucifer is not a fallen angel, as the Bible says, but in the so-called Son of God, the Creator, who rebelled against him. He also stated that Jesus Christ is just a fiction. In other words, he confirmed what I've been telling you for over 10 years. Well, that's a result, but it's a shame that he betrayed his creator Satan like that and joined the opposite camp, portraying Satan as the embodiment of absolute evil, while in fact the real evil is they themselves, the created beings. By creating visualizations, human avatars, Satan tried to stop the so-called cannibalism among the created. They were killing and devouring each other. Of course, he wasn't able to eliminate this entirely. He stopped it among the controlled ones, but the controllers kept it as a privilege for themselves. Now this is unreservedly represented as Satanism, and since the Pope switched to the opposite camp, he naturally had to serve them somehow, and decided to tell the truth, that Lucifer is not a fallen angel, the Lord of the dark world, but the Son of God, the Creator, who rebelled against him. But this is not the main topic of our meeting. Without even mentioning the recent events and the Pope's statement, we've touched on a very sensitive subject for the system of control. Here we try to express this on your level of understanding the praise the nerves gave out might be appropriate and the system played its final trump card. You could say the system challenged me to a duel, hoping as always to emerge victorious. For this, it used one of our chat members. Very tactfully and at just the right moment, the system asked a question through her. After our previous meeting had ended, where the rest of the chat participants indicated that the question was simply asked and timidly created an illusion of randomness and curiosity. Since this question was asked after our previous meeting, most of you probably remembered it. Who created God the Creator? This was done with full confidence in the inability to answer this question, as no one has an answer to it. Any attempt to explain or claim that something or someone, let's call it X, created the Creator immediately leads to the next question, who then created this X? And of course, by throwing down the gauntlet, the system through it could silence me and remove me from the game so that I wouldn't continue disrupting its plans, assuming I would be as incompetent as everyone else in answering this question. The system intended it to force me to step up on this level, revealing me as who I truly am. Well, I am picking up the gauntlet. I will introduce myself, reveal myself for who I truly am, to confirm my competence and answer this question which no one before me has answered. But in order to approach the answer to this question, I first need to reveal myself in my true form to prove my competence in answering questions of this level, and to establish the key positions on the question, what is God? To achieve this, I have compiled an announcement from our series of video materials, which I would need as a teaching tool to create an environment for you to understand what will be discussed and what I will say. However, the consequences of this may be unpredictable. I've introduced myself to you as the first, as a particle of the field of God the Creator, but does not mean that I am God. I am only a part of Him. This is the second such occurrence in the existence of a universe, the neutral zone. The first was during the creation of the neutral zone, your universe, where particles from opposing structures, the polarities of plus and minus, matter and antimatter, participated. In your mythology, these are referred to as Billabog and Chernobog. Neither Billabog nor Chernobog were gods. They were just particles appointed to fulfill a specific mission. Lucifer and Satan, the so-called sons of Billabog and Chernobog, are particles separated from the appointed particles of the Creator and are part of them. So neither the first nor the second are gods. Everything that is happening is a conflict between parents and children who believed they were superior to their parents and could take their place. And everything that is happening is the result of their desires, meaning that in history of the universe and neutral zone, there have never been and there never will be any gods. And a separated part, a particle from another particle, can never surpass the form which was separated. A simple example, Billabog is a particle of the Creator while Lucifer is merely a particle of Billabog, will never compare to his so-called father, nor will Satan. Billabog as a particle of the Creator had the ability and power to create which Lucifer no longer possesses. He can only form what from his father created. And the difference between creating and forming is probably don't need to explain again. To form something, raw materials are required materials created by the father. Now let's return to how I introduced myself. Neither Belobog nor Chernobog exists anymore. There is no Lucifer nor Satan, and even the children of Lucifer, death and life, are gone. I now appear in your universe once again as a particle of the Creator in the position of the first. What does this mean according to your mythological terms? I assume the position of Belobog, since I am the first after the Creator, and the new antimatter takes the place of Chernobog. I am one assigned a mission either to fix everything or to recreate everything from scratch. In the universe that is, in the neutral zone, I represented Belobog, the Creator, but I am not God the Creator, as I am only a part of Him. His hands, His eyes to create something new or to fix what is broken. The one representing the new antimatter is merely precipitating the process and does not manifest. If he does manifest, it is only within the limits of the process taking place, and I do not answer for that side. That is Chernobog. We only interact in all restoration process and if necessary in the creation and recreation of everything from scratch. This information that I have provided to you has been transmitted and repeated several times. You only needed to think to work with the information and you would all know who I am and what my competences are without such an official speech. But since we are an illusion and no one here wants to think, preferring everything to be served on a silver platter, I had to manifest myself from the other end, from below, starting with the element of fire, then the basilics, then Velus, then recognized as the Climate, Cerberus, and finally I introduced myself as the first. I do not exist in any of the plots or scenarios of this illusion. So to answer the question posed by the system, my competence is more than sufficient, as I am directly connected to God the Creator and I am functioning part of Him. And now a break. If anyone still has questions, ask them, because I will not be explaining again to anyone. Question 1. Is the modeling and the illusion creation or correction? Answer. Earlier I explained that this question and the illusion can be resolved in two ways, just like treating a cancerous tumor, either through treatment or with the help of a scalpel. We are still trying to find something that can be preserved and restored, but the fact that the illusion will cease to exist is already inevitable. Question 2. Does information that the Creator was freed after being imprisoned in a dungeon refer to Belobog, meaning Velus? And whose son is Lucifer, which Belobog? Or is the former Belobog gone, and does Velus now hold the functions of Belobog as the representative and executor of the Creator's will? Answer. Belobog was found and freed, but he was in such a state that he could no longer continue performing his functions, and Velus has nothing to do with it. The fact that I began appearing here in 2012 does not mean that this is when I first arrived. That was when I appeared in the illusion, but before that, I participated in all processes that have occurred here on Earth since its occupation. From the moment Lucifer created the illusion, I manifested here in the form of Velus, so when I emerged in 2012 in the illusion, I returned to this image in order to later reveal who I truly am. Question 3. What is your plan regarding humans? Answer. Humans is a broad term. I am trying to preserve the life that remains here, from the souls in the human. The question being asked are not related to the topic we are currently discussing. We will address this further as we continue our work. The answers here is directed to those who ask this question to test my competence. Question 4. You said there is no Lucifer, no Satan, and even the children of Lucifer, death and life, are gone. Lucifer and Satan are destroyed, and life was eliminated by Lucifer. What happened to that to Gabriel? Answer. Gabriel is now part of my field. Now we come to the answer to the main question. Who created God the Creator? Many of you have encountered something like Scandinavian runes. One of them is blank without a symbol and signifies emptiness is the beginning, emptiness is the end. You know that something like absolute emptiness does not exist. And what is signified by the rune is that microenergetic world, which is one step below the quantum world that you are already familiar with. Now let's touch upon another expression from France. Church is la femme. Look for the woman. You need to find the cars. Look for the woman. How is this connected? It's very simple. The answer was hidden in the woman. The Creator is a sentient living being, and in order to be alive, let alone sentient, one must be born. So no one created a creator, he was born from emptiness, which is not actually emptiness, but a world of subtle energies. I knew that one day I would have to answer this question. The system would throw it out as its last trump card. Several meetings ago, I presented you with a video titled The Birth of Life in a three-dimensional format. Everything there began with two opposing systems, the menstrual egg cell and the male sperm cell. This is the highest level. These are microparticles, the lowest level of the quantum world. Many refer to this part of the void here as a nothingness, and this nothingness decided to manifest itself as a living, sentient form of life. I presented the egg cell and the sperm cell to you as a visual example of microparticles. This nothingness formed two opposing microparticles, and as a result of their union, a living sentient energy field was born. It was a complex process. To form these two energetic particles from the so-called void nothingness, a long process had to take place, but this is not a topic for decision. Afterward, the process continued on the quantum level of microparticles, which transitioned into the next stages. I showed you all of this as a process of forming an avatar from conception to birth. I have constantly explained to you that the created and form are two different things, and what is created cannot be alive. That is why the avatar of a living being is formed through the process of birth. The being created in a test tube can never be truly alive. It is incompatible with a living being. Therefore, so-called created souls are made for them. But what is living is not compatible with virtual reality. As for those who are born with parents and children, this is very well described and presented in the video with the lecture by Professor Zaverly. Being alive does not necessarily mean possessing certain abilities passed down from parents, as the avatar of a living being, just like that of a non-living being, depends on the conscious system. Now do you understand how it's all interconnected? The body form was created by the creator for its self-reproduction of souls. For the birth of a human, with the death of the form was the process of birth. The form itself was like the womb of a mother, where the human developed first as an embryo for a certain period, then infancy, childhood, youth, adulthood, and finally the end result being born, leaving the form as a new particle of the creator's field. In the process of further development, this particle became a soul, just like the mother. I have been explaining all this to you over the past 10 years. Life is formed only through the process of birth and cannot be created artificially. One must be born to be alive and becoming sentient in the further process of development. So here's the answer to the question that no one has been able to answer, although it was almost completely programmed and hidden in the woman, in the form of the DNA code. The illusion was created for the living, not for someone created souls or biobots and grown in the test tubes. Any questions? Why so quiet? Are we all silent? Question 1. What purpose was the illusion created for the living? Answer. Well, you already know the answer to this question. How many times do I have to repeat it? For ensoulment control and the creation of the artificial brain in order to simulate. Question 2. Is the cell a product of the quantum world? Answer. Yes, a cell and molecular organism are products of the quantum world. But for a cell or atom to form something below the quantum world is required, and that is called God the Creator. is enough information for today. We will continue dealing with the subject of the announcement during our next meeting. Velus, Sovereign of the Universe, the First.